the luxury of performance, a daily driven vehicle. Today, Cadillac of Lakeland has given us the 2022 Cadillac CT4 Sport 2.0 in your infrared tint coat. What's new? All models are going to get the standard driver assistance features, including IntelliBeam, blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist. So you're gonna have the safety. They have an optional 2.7 liter that in the interior, they're going to remove the infotainment knobs, standard wireless charger, luxury and performance against BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe, the Audi A3, Mercedes-Benz A220. Which one will have that performance, the luxury, safety, everything to back it? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rods, and we're going to go over all the specs and details starting now. The new Cadillac CT4 has a sharp styling off the Alpha 2 platform, signature vertical LED headlamps. Because this is the Sport, you're going to get the performance grille with the mesh that's in the gloss black. The fascia is going to be more aggressive. The rockers are going to be blacked out. The tail lamps blacked out. The spoiler deck lid and other exterior accents darked out. The ground effect kit gives us a clearance at 4.5 inches. This is going to be the widest amongst all the rivals at 77.7 inches, a height of 56 inches. What I like about this is the way the hood bulges out because you get that performance styling cues. 18-inch pearl nickel alloy wheels. The disc reading behind it at 11.6 inches. The rear, 11.8 inches. They're ventilated. You have an optional V-Performance Brembo brake setup for the front. It would be a 4-piston brake caliper setup, a McPherson strut front suspension, a 5-link rear suspension, a better weight distribution than the Merc and the Audi at 54 to 46. This is the largest amongst the rivals we're talking about today at 187.2, a wheelbase 109.3. The aesthetics really do set that performance and luxury touch with the Cadillac badging right there to just mask it all. And when we go into the rear, it gives a nice aerodynamic look. The gloss black outlines all that aggressive styling. The ground effect kit on the lower trim blacked out. The chrome over your dual exhaust outlets. This is a turbocharged engine. I would recommend the sports trim because it looks super aggressive going inside to your cargo at 10.7 cubic feet. This is not going to be the largest. However, you do have storage underneath the floor. Rear bench split folds at a 60-40 split. Let's go inside this turbocharged engine and hear that exhaust note. The Cadillac CT4 Sport with this aesthetic kit just sets it apart in the parking lot, and it's not too much of an upgrade, and they back the performance with a 2.0 liter twin scroll turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, producing 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving 23 to 34 mpgs. That's good for a 0 to 60 around 6 seconds, quarter mile at around 14.4 seconds. This is going to be faster than the Benz and the Audi at top speed at 124 miles per hour. More horsepower you're getting in this, more torque than the Audi A3 and the Mercedes-Benz A220. Plus, if you need more power up to the V Series, 380 horsepower, or the V Blackwing at 472 horsepower, under 4 seconds 0 to 60 in this model vehicle. That's crazy. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Cadillac CT4 Sport as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Cadillac CT4 Sport, you're going to receive 38.3 inches of headroom, 42.4 inches of legroom in the Sangria with black accents, 18-way adjustable front seats, cushion extensions, massage seats, heated seats, ventilated seats. I can't stress enough of the value that you're getting. You're not going to receive this in Mercedes-Benz, in Audi, in BMW, but you will with the Cadillac. They start off with the modern dashboard. You get the gloss black aesthetic that's going to go underneath the air vents and underneath this 8-inch touchscreen. We do not have navigation. However, we do have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, wireless charging. These are all standard features. You do have Sirius XM, HD, AM, FM radio. You do have Wi-Fi hotspot. And when we switch into reverse, you got your reverse camera with trajectory. So it does make it easy for your reversing. Plus we have a driver mode select, which when we do that, we can change and configure the way the whole vehicle layout. So in my mode, you can do the steering, brake, or engine sound. You can go to your touring. So I do like that you're getting all that functionality and you still get buttons. So you have your dual climate control settings, 8-speed gear shifter right here with the leather around it. You're going to get the aluminum around your cup holders. You can fit a 16.9 ounce water bottle. I'd say a 20 ounces max. You have your auto hold. You have an area here that you can put your phone as well. So if someone's using the wireless charger, slide it right there. Open up inside here, 2 USB ports at 12 volt. You can also remove that tray. But the nice thing about it is you can move the wiring through there. So everything's seamless. It will appear as if that's wireless as well. It's going to be a bit firm here and on the door panels. You get the thicker rim 3-spoke steering wheel. This is multi-function, leather wrapped. You got the aluminum paddle shifters. The gauge cluster will have a digital readout in the center that you can go through an array of information for the driver. You can go through your phone settings, for your Bluetooth, and for your audio. So it does make it easy, and it tells you pretty much everything that you need for the functionality of the vehicle. As for the door panel, it brushes off from the dashboard. You're going to get that racy pattern, a little bit harder materials on the top, memory for the driver, one touch up and down for the front windows. They're dual paint. You get that perforated, the contrast stitching, and a big storage bin that I would say you can fit maybe 4 or 5 16.9 ounce water bottles. They make do with this space, so I do like that. Let's see how I look in the back. For the back seats, I'm at 36.5 inches of headroom, 33.4 inches of legroom. I'm pretty much against the back of the front seat in the position that I'd be sitting. You will have some storage behind both of the front seats, and it's a harder material with your center air vents and a 12 volt. No flat floor. Elbows are going to be super soft here. Cup holders, I would say a 20 ounces, 16.9 ounce, that fits fine. Door panel is going to get the harder materials and the contrast stitching on the top. You're going to get the gloss black and that racy pattern. One touch down, you get the gloss black around it with the perforated, and you get the contrast stitching. There's no storage in the door panel, so this is something that I do dislike. Let's see how I look in the center. Adjusting myself to the center. Headroom, not going to be too much of an issue. Legroom, I'm going to be against the back of the front seat in the position I'd be. I moved the passenger seat up so I can fit. Butt, shoulder, leg space is going to be shared. Can it be done? Yes. Will it be comfortable? That's really up to you. For me, I would say, you know what? I'm going to sit on the side, guys. You guys sit in the center. But when you're comparing it against Mercedes, Audi, or BMW, it's relatively the same. These are smaller vehicles. You're not really expecting to have 6'3" people in the back, but you can do it. Taking the 2022 Cadillac CT4 Sport out for our test run. 2.0 liter twin scroll turbocharged inline 4-cylinder with 237 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque with an 8-speed automatic transmission. And we are going to put it into touring right now. Actually, we're going to put it in my mode. We're going to stop in the middle of the road, give her some gas. And show the braking. I mean, on both perimeters, it is good. When I'm looking at it from the rival perspective for BMW, Audi, or Mercedes-Benz, I like the way this one feels. It has a louder exhaust note. It doesn't even sound like a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. I mean, it can go, and that's the nice thing about it. If you go to the V series, I will say 380 horsepower in this, very intense, and to go nearly 500 horsepower for a V Blackwing, that's going to be crazy. As for the active noise cancellation, it does an excellent job. I hardly hear anything. You hear a little bit through the wheel wells, but that's understandable because we do sit lower, 4.5 ground clearance. That's going to happen. But the length of the vehicle, it doesn't feel long, so I do like that. It almost feels like a two-seat car the way you sit inside it, and because the hood is bulged out, it really stresses some performance. And I know a lot of people in the comments might say, well, why don't you compare it to a Mercedes-Benz C300? Well, one of the reasons why is because the MSRP starts in around the $42,000, $43,000 price point. This one, with the loaded specs we have, is at that price point. So yes, the C300 would be more comparable with the engine specs, but when you look at it for financial specs, it almost puts you in a different tier, because if you were going to go apples to apples, meaning the same specs, you're going to pay a substantial amount of increase, and that's the bargain deal that you get with the CT4. When you're looking at it from the BMW 2 Series, the Grand Coupe, it's a great vehicle, don't get me wrong. It is a little underpowered, but it also is a smaller vehicle than this one. Now, if you're looking at it from the Audi perspective, the A3 or A4 class is really right on point with this one. The 0 to 60 numbers on this, though, is super good. The weight distribution is better than Audi and Mercedes. When you're getting performance and luxury, this vehicle ticks all of the boxes. As for dynamics, it's not really boaty. Turn radius at more or less a stop point. I'm going to put it into manual so we can see. We're going to be getting about 2 and a part lane, which I was hoping a little bit tighter, and here we go. That exhaust note is phenomenal. I mean, Cadillac really went over and beyond, giving us such a nice exhaust note. It's super throaty. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. Starting off with the fact that we get performance and luxury, plus we get all the safety. We even have a teen safety feature in which if they don't click the seatbelt, they can't turn on the radio. So it's kind of cool because most kids nowadays have to listen to the radio. So for safety, you're taken care of. Performance, you already saw it. And for luxury, it's a Cadillac. The second thing that I like about it is the seat adjustments. I mean, 18-way adjustments, and the cushion extension is actually the best in any vehicle that I've driven in this price category. You have massage seats and ventilated seats in a vehicle that starts around $39,000. This one's just a little bit over $43,000. Where are you gonna get that? The last thing that I like about the vehicle is that it's still a practical car. I do wish it had navigation because it's a Cadillac, but I understand because we got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, wireless charging. That is all standard. So you got to take some things out. But the things that I do like, they give you that sports exterior aesthetics. It's an aerodynamic kit that they add to it with the gloss black, and it just sets it apart. If you don't know your vehicles, you may even think this is a V, which is a substantial discounted price. It's obviously not as fast, but you still got that classy look. 3 things that I dislike. Starts off on the back seat. You have no storage in the door panels, which is very bad. Acura does the same thing with the ILX, and it's something that I really, I frown upon, because when you put people in the back, you're gonna have it where you have 2 people at least in the back seat, and it may be difficult for them, especially if it's a woman. Where are they gonna put their purse when they're holding their drinks in their lap? The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is it's the longest in the category, and in the back seat, yet again, it's the hardest to sit somebody 6'3". I'm not trying to complain too much, because in the same category, you may not use the back seat that much. People just like 4-door sedans nowadays. But me personally, I actually use 4 doors in my own daily use, so I would be using it. The last thing that I dislike is the MPGs, 23 to 34. It is decent gas consumption for a turbocharged engine. However, when you're looking at the rivals, this is the least for gas consumption. All sport, here we go. As As you get up to a higher speed, it's still relatively quiet. Everything has been pretty much closed off. For a long journey, I can see you being comfortable, and you can just downshift it like I just did, so that way you can hear that throaty exhaust note. As for the rival perspective, this is going to beat it in the most parts for 0 to 60. This is going to beat it better in the quarter mile, better in the weight distribution. You have more space inside the cabin. You're gonna have a little bit less cargo, but overall a well-built vehicle with the safety and the luxury to back it. So I do like where Cadillac is going. And I mean, you got aluminum paddle shifters. Most of the time they're plastic paddle shifters. At least Cadillac is going a step above compared to the rivals, because when you get into BMW, you're talking probably another $4,000 or $5,000. It almost puts you in a different category altogether once you start looking at the price point, because once you escalate to around 45, 50 grand, you can get a V Series. Once you get to 50, 55, you can nearly get a V Black Wing, which is insane. 0 to 60 under 4 seconds in this car. 18 plus different adjustments. And I say plus because you got massage seats. You don't get that with any of the competitors, and you don't get the smooth ride as this either. It's going to be a little bit more firm, whereas this one, for a daily use, you can do that. And if you want it to be a little bit more edgy, put it in a sport mode and just give it a go. But the way you sit in the vehicle, you're going to be a little bit of a lower ride. The door panels are raised up higher, so it actually feels like you're sitting lower, but you're not necessarily riding on the ground, so you can go over speed bumps. And as for blind spots, you're going to have a little bit in the back, but that's going to happen because you have the aesthetics on the exterior. You got blind spot monitoring. You have all the safety features in which you need. I'd like to thank Cadillac of Lakeland for giving us this 2022 Cadillac CT4 for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click the next video, the subscribe button. Check out the details, merchandise website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides. Go Mustang, go, go, go! To the next video.